So we have sap green, burnt sienna, and cadmium yellow light. We're going to work on the greens. So this is a small bright or flat. I'm going to use the side, the corner of that brush, dab over here, dab. Okay, that's good. We have a couple of little pots in there. We're going to highlight in a minute. Good. Same at the bottom. This is a reflection. Same thing. Just a bit in here. Okay. Perfect. I'm going to do the same on that one here, but just kind of with the corner of my brush over that box. And we're going to highlight the box too. And I'm going to come here, down here, and just kind of, again, do the same. Okay. Now, this box right here on the left, that's the closest to us. I'm going to simplify that even with when I start highlighting the box. But before we do this, let's put some green in here. I know there are a couple of pots in there. We can add them after if we want to. But right now, I'm just going to use some green and burnt sienna. This is sap green, again, burnt sienna. And then just now the tree in the back is nice. Let's put that, this little kind of bush or tree or whatever it is in the corner there. That's a nice, it camouflages this corner a bit. It adds some kind of a softness to this corner. Let's do this too here. Some green in here. We're going to highlight all this in a minute. Okay, good. Now, dip my brush. Not the whole brush. When I dip my brush, I don't really dip the whole thing. I dip the tip of my brush in water. Just the tip. And I'm going to take wipe, and do the same here, the reflection. So my color here, the actual color that I'm doing where the reflection is softer than what you see here up there. Sap green, touch of burnt sienna in it, and cadmium yellow light. I'm going to highlight my sap green slowly. Yep, that's good. Corner of my brush. And you're welcome to put anything you like in there. You want to put some reds, you want to, we might add some reds later on, or oranges, some interesting colors. I just don't want it to be, I just want to be careful here because I don't want it to be the focal point. Same down here. And down here too. The reflection. Again, let's do that. Sap green, burnt, a bit of burnt sienna, and cadmium yellow light. Now, this is closer. We're getting closer here. So we will highlight this shortly. Highlight it more. I'm still using the same brush. I will change soon. I will change it. I'm adding a bit more yellow in here with my green. So whatever I'm putting up here, I'm going to do the reflection of it down here. Just not very detailed though. Those highlights are softening a bit the green, all of this area, making it much more interesting and softer. Now my brush stroke is different here. My brush stroke down here, it's like having grass. I'm highlighting a bit more this area with yellow and green, of course. And over here too, just a bit. Now, let's soften the back with lighter green in here. This is just burnt sienna and a bit of yellow. And just highlighting a bit the pots, just tiny bit, not all of them. Maybe that one here. And I'm gonna go in and I lost some of the wall in the back, so I'm just putting it back in here. Okay, here we go.
What color did she use for the wall? Burnt sienna and yellow.
And again, I'm gonna take burnt sienna and yellow. And I'm gonna come here and just kind of go over this one here a bit because I went with the green too much. There's too much green in here. Put it back in there. So I'm just softening all this area here. Okay, good. This is yellow with a bit of burnt sienna. I pick up some burnt sienna now and yellow and just go over. Just to make this area a bit more interesting, you know, just not only green. Okay, now I'll take sap green. I'm going to put yellow in it. So this sap green is going to be kind of a strong green. It's not, it pops. It's not, it doesn't have any burnt sienna in it to tone it down. My brush needs to be, need water in my brush. Okay. It's good. So what I did here is I got some cadmium red light and I added burnt sienna in it and a bit of titanium buff. And I'm highlighting those pots in the back because what happened is when I tried to highlight them with burnt sienna and yellow, it didn't work. So I'm highlighting them with a bit of cadmium red light, burnt sienna, and a touch of a bit of titanium buff. Now that will give me a good option of adding some of this in the back, some of these little orangey earth tones. In here and maybe a bit here.
Lael, what was the color combination again with the
For the
cadmium?
pots?
Yes.
Okay, it's cadmium red light, burnt sienna, same burnt sienna we're using, and titanium buff.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
red light, what?
Cadmium red light, burnt sienna, and buff.
Oh, okay. And you have the light, CAD light?
I'm using the medium hue.
Okay, I've got medium too. Looks better. And can I have some of your titanium? I'd like to get some. May I have a little bit of your titanium? Thank you.
Yeah.
So burnt sienna. A bit of red, cadmium red light in my burnt sienna. And let's see if this is going to work without, oh, no, look, this is really, really strong, right? Look at that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take sap green and I'm going to put sap green in it. Sap green, because burnt sienna is red, it's opposite burnt sienna, it's opposite red, or green is opposite red on the color wheel. So it's going to tone it down almost like a reddish brown. There, that's better. Again,
Just using burnt sienna or with
Yeah.
red as well? Are you
no, I'm using burnt sienna. I put some red in it, a bit of red, and then sap green. Because if I use burnt sienna only, and I don't put sap green, I don't put red in it, if I add sap green to burnt sienna only, it's going to be too brown. So the red is going to keep it more like a reddish brown, not brown brown.
Is it very close to what's there already?
No, it's lighter. It's like more brownish, more reddish
More
brown.
red? More
Yeah,
red.
yeah, more red.
No, mine's not.
Mine is. Put my red in it.
So that again is burnt sienna and cadmium red light.
Touch very small amount of cadmium red light and sap green.
Oh,
Gotta tone it down.
You'll see what we're going to do there. No, this is just we have the first layer, which is brown, dark brown. Then now we have another layer of a reddish brown. And let's bring it down here. Bring it down, down there. All right.
Wow.
What? Too strong? Tone it down. Tone it down with.
No, no, I'm saying, wow, it's gonna look nice.
Yeah, the more.
I mean, I love burnt sienna. It's one of
Yeah.
my favorite colors.
Okay.
My cold's kind of coming back.
Don't let it kick it away. Don't want it. You do not want it back. See.
Okay, this is good. All right.
What color are you using for those twigs?
Yeah, I'll explain right now. I was trying to see if the colors will work. They do work. Okay, so if you're ready for this part where we're going to put the twigs, I'll explain. I'm just gonna start recording. Okay, so for this part, I'm using burnt sienna and sap green. Try to use those two only for now, for the twigs. And I'm gonna come here. I'm gonna start putting some of these twigs over. You might need, I'm using a small brush, round, small brush. And I'm actually I watered down my color a bit, so it's easier for the brush to move. Otherwise, it'll be too much, it will have too much paint on it. It'll be hard to manipulate this. There we go. The brush and the here, more water. Okay. Let's put some of those, as many as we can put for now here. Same down here. Okay, now exactly the same combination of color here. All I'm going to do is add titanium buff to my burnt sienna and sap green. I'm going to add titanium buff now. The reason I'm doing this is just because I want to put those twigs, very soft ones, over here, over this part, the dark part. So for me to be able to see them, I need to highlight them. And the best highlight to use for this is a titanium buff. And just kind of random. Just put as many as you want here and random. We're going to highlight, we are going to work on this a little bit more. Now, okay, mine is looking a bit too off-white. So I'm bringing in more burnt sienna. I want to see it, but I don't want it to be an off-white color. It should have a bit of red in it. Burnt sienna will give me that red. Okay, that's better. Let's see. Should look, that's better. Okay, it has red. I can see red in there. Red because of the burnt sienna, not because of anything else. There, it's more like an earth tone red. Don't worry how, it doesn't matter how they look. These are random. We're going to work on that. We're going to put some more work, some more layers over this. Okay. Let's go back to a slightly larger or same, either a round brush or the flat one I was using. It doesn't matter which one. And I'm going to take the same. That's burnt sienna. I'm going to put a bit of titanium buff in my burnt sienna. Just burnt sienna. Titanium buff.
The twigs are titanium buff and
And burnt sienna.
sienna?
And burnt sienna.
Okay.
So now, well, you're still working on those, on the twig. Okay, I'll wait. Okay, I'll wait.
Roots there.
Next step, take some just burnt sienna. And I'm gonna come here and see, let me see if this is gonna show. Yeah, that's showing, that's great. That's enough amount of red in here with my burnt sienna. I'm using Liquitex burnt sienna, so it's good. And I'm just gonna dab a couple of these reddish colors in here. Just a bit.
So it's just burnt sienna?
Just burnt sienna. I'm adding right now sap green as well. So some patches are going to be burnt sienna only, and some other ones I'm just gonna put some sap green and burnt sienna together. The same. Okay. Let's see. Let's take burnt sienna now. Cadmium yellow light. Okay, and let's see. Yeah, that works. So for the next step, those little kind of dabs, dots that you see in here. I'm just using burnt sienna and cadmium yellow light. This is a round brush, an old one. And I'm just going to dab with my round brush. Interesting kind of plant in here. I'm just using an old brush around, and I'm just gonna dab straight. My brush is the way I'm holding the brush is straight, like it's not on an angle. It's right there on top. And I'm just dabbing, very gently dabbing. It looks like most of it is on this part here, underneath this bridge. All right. When you're dabbing, if you find that your dabs are big, too big, change to a smaller brush. Or if you want, I think we can use, let's try this. Let's try let's see. Yeah, that will work too. This is a fan brush. I'm using the corner of my fan brush, but with the fan brush, just make sure that you change the direction. Otherwise, you'll end up with the same pattern if you don't. But a fan brush will do too. Corner. So much of it on this side. All right, good. That's good.
The color you used for that? Or?
I used burnt sienna and I put cadmium yellow light in it. Of course, I'm just going to wait for it to dry because it dries darker, and I'll see if I need to adjust my color. Maybe I might need to add a bit of titanium buff. Okay, I added a bit of titanium buff right now, just a tiny bit, just to get a bit of highlighted. Same color, but a bit lighter. Oh dear, jeez. All right, this brush is not cooperating. Let's get another one.
A bit yellow there.
Yes,
Yes.
sorry.
Okay. Adding more yellow. Do you want me to stop a bit? Before I continue with the leaves, more leaves?
Just for a minute.
Sure. So this is sap green, burnt sienna, and I'm gonna bring some green down here. It will soften this part and it will just, we don't have to deal with putting too much brick in here. This is sap green and burnt sienna. That's good. Okay.
That's it for tonight.
You're not putting the pipe in?
No.
She's going to smoke it later.